A few Marines still manage to make their way up the right or the left side of the map, and the Mutas will kind of return home, check around the towers, take care of any Marines standing there, and those Marines could just poke in, watch for the 4th or the 5th, and that's exactly what it looks like he's going to set himself up to do.
Moonan's already getting his 3rd orbital command started here, or perhaps he'll even wait to get it to a planetary force. Yep, looks like that's his plan. Wants to try to be counter-attack proof, and already sending an early spotter Marine to make sure there's no Zerglings there. Moonan looks like he's going for a late-term focused play. I mean, Marines and tanks and medevacs, the staple units of a strong Terran army, but we're seeing him get a double reactor early on, start stockpiling those medevacs early, build up energy for them, get a 3rd base early on so that way he can have a bigger, stronger later push. That means that July is suddenly in a race. He needs to get up enough resources to match the Terran and get up enough tech to hold off this very intimidating push.
He does take out a few SCVs with his Mutas. He did stop the 1 Marine at his 4th. There's still going to be the 5th Marine over on the side. We see some Banelings also being morphed now with Baneling speed on the way. And +1 for those Mutas is about ready to complete. Meanwhile, continuing his drone up, getting his Overlords ready so he can mass produce an army here. And may decide to poke back in here to the main. He's done a good job of juggling between the main and the 3rd right now. Going to try to swing all the way around. And, oh, there is a dropship moving out. And it will not be seen. Actually, it's just going to go ahead and bring some Marines in there. So actually set up to deal with those Mutas right there. And Mutas will escape without taking any critical damage.
Now, I really dislike the idea of doing a drop at this point in time. Moonan is relying a little bit on hope if he sends just 1 medevac, but as we saw Phoenix do, you can force things to work by doing 2 big attacks at the same time, but with these 2 tiny drops, I still feel a little leery. Dropship now moving up to the top right. There's the medevac that's going to begin unloading. The Mutalisks are swinging to that backside. Oh my gosh, does July not see it? It looks like he's going to be moving back late. The drones pull back. Good response, but is Moonan going to be able to do enough damage?
Well, he's going to bring in more Lings. He had to wait for reinforcements to come in. He'll immediately target fire that medevac as well, so he cannot pick up, and everything will go down. Did have to move his drones to get rid of it, but we have another drop over here on the other side of the map, and it's going to have to be the drones who go to battle, quickly realizing we cannot combat this, and this drop will be successful. Overlord going to get sniped the moment it pops out. Short life for that guy, but here comes a counterattack over at the 3rd.
Rolling up to the and he takes down the planetary fortress with ease. Marines now trying to pull back. Will Moonan retreat, or will he just try to go for the trade? It looks like he's doing a little bit of both. Bailings roll in. Massive kills on the SCVs. Moonan sending more Marines up to the top to try to pick off this Expo, but tons of Banelings and Zerglings await. He loses his natural expansion command center. Units in the main, but will it be enough? Moonan's going to have to do some emergency cleanup, but phenomenal aggressive decision-making by JulyZerg.
Yeah, right now Moonan is in a serious economic crisis. The check has not come in the mail, and he is hurting so bad. Only a few mineral patches left. Of course, the natural got taken out. He's rebuilding the command center there. The 3rd has been completely destroyed by JulyZerg. And just looking at the workers kill, 37 workers killed here from JulyZerg off of those Banelings and the random attacks from the Mutalisks. And look at the amount of Banelings here. 41 Banelings coming in now, and it could just be a situation where all of these tanks unsieged. Man, there's a lot of tanks right here. If he can take care of those Marines, the Mutas will easily be able to clean them up. It does look like JulyZerg's advancing forward.
There's the tanks sieging up. JulyZerg utilizing the mobility of the Mutaling Baneling army. So strong. There's the Marine trying to do a little bit of micro, but will not stay alive long versus +2 Mutalisks. You even see, again, another nice drop by Moonan, but it's always dangerous to try to do these types of harassments alone. You can clearly see this naked, undefended drop is just 3 kills for JulyZerg. He's continuing to rack up the units killed amount, and we see, Zerglings and Banelings trying to move up through the middle. There's a tank sieging. Great positioning by Moonan, cleaning it up, but does JulyZerg have too much? Wow. Only 2 or 3 Banelings managed to connect with the Marines, but that's all he needed, because right now the Mutalisks at the back picking apart the barracks. JulyZerg actually staying relatively aggressive all game long, not really teching up to those later units at the hive. Instead, opting for this layer tech, but a finally successful drop by Moonan manages to eliminate the spawning tool.
Yeah, that's going to obviously stop those links from coming out, and the Marines are dropped. Still 2 left, heading over to the natural right now. He's going to drop those right inside the mineral line. The mutas that are left there to just spawn, clean that up, no problem. Take it out. Meanwhile, tanks starting to position themselves. We got Moonan now at the tower, and this is horrible when you've got this gold base. You do have this advantage because it's gold, but once the Terran gets up here with his siege tanks, he can start to do a lot of damage. But here come the mutas almost on Q day as they will move up. They do take a hit from the Thors, but 1, 2, 3 tank, and with that volume of mutas, he did a considerable amount of damage to the tank numbers of Moonan.
Spawning pool now finished. 46 lings en route for JulyZerg, and a whole bunch swinging around for a counterattack. Oh my goodness, now trying to approach to this bottom right. It hasn't even been morphed to a planetary fortress, and it doesn't even matter. JulyZerg straight for the natural. Moonan now just getting completely overrun. Trying to lift up some supply depots, recalls that Zergling run by from the start of the game, but there's almost nothing Moonan can do. Doesn't even attempt to repair. Just trying to pick off this gold. Uses the drop to pick off the 4th base, but July is just forcing this to stay. 3 base Zerg versus 1 base Terran. See you later, workers. In the unit counting stations, 7 SCVs.
Wow. And he has, JulyZerg has taken out 70 workers. Now 1 more drop coming in from Moonan, last ditch effort, and it is not even going to matter. Right now, JulyZerg banking a lot of minerals. It's got a great economy to work off of, and these banelings will just roll in, take care of business. Right now, Moonan has to feel like his back is up against the wall.
JulyZerg, called the God of War, clearly living up to his name in this game, utilizing fast units, counterattacks, picking Terran apart, abusing the extreme speed of all of these units and the flying of the Mutalisks. It almost seems like there's nothing Moonan could have done. Keep in mind, though, this is one of the best maps for Zerg to cross positions, so July is definitely going to be feeling quite comfortable in a Game 3, even if Moonan does win Game 2.
I mean, it's absolutely true, and I would guess that based off of this performance here in game number 1, as we could see the final engagement, things are going to move in. They do back off, but they're going to go in as they bait out some of these Marines, instantly going in for the surround on those tanks. Banelings don't care what they're hitting, but they will go after those Marines, hitting a few. We do have a nice split, but there's the Baneling and the GG.
Remarkably solid play by July. You know, a lot of Zergs struggled in the early days of StarCraft 2 because it seems so hard to pick apart that solid Terran composition of tanks, Marines, medevacs, especially if they're all well placed. So how does July deal with it? How do all the really successful Zergs we've seen today deal with it? They just attack somewhere else. Drops in the main, Mutalist harassment from the side, running the Lings and Banelings along those alleyways. We're seeing exploiting the creep and speed of the Zerg units to really make that Terran army look so helpless.
And one of the things about JulyZerg's play in that last one is, you know, we talk about the muta numbers and how they become so important, and losing those early mutas can have an adverse effect on what you can do with them later on. JulyZerg never overcommitting to any sort of attack, but always finding these small little nooks and crannies that he's able to sneak into, kill a couple SCVs, maybe go work on the production, and then he gets halfway down that barracks and he'll come back a little bit later. But he never really overcommitted, and you know, ultimately in his muta count was just quite good. Stopped all the drops, a few successful ones coming out there by Moonan, but ultimately just got a little diluted near the end of the game.
And it looks like our players have joined. We will be going on to MLG Shakura's Plateau. That was the map selection by Moonan. So we are now starting the match. Can Moonan pull a comeback win in this match, or will July close it out 2-0? We're going to find out immediately.
Looking forward to this one. JulyZerg looked really